All right, it's that time again, folks. ESPN FC Extra Time.
Sorry. We were just laughing. We were just having a discussion about
dentistry,
how pricey it is for to go and see a hygienist.
Yes.
Stevie.
And strangely, I don't have any dental hygienist questions today. Maybe
he has. He just told me how much the price was.
I can feel
a root canal coming on thinking about it.
Well, we're going to have a mulligan to start off with. James Mulligan wants to know if Antoine Griezmann goes to Man United next summer, is that a game changer? Do they then win the Premier League title the year after? One signing, is that could that be enough?
I don't think you'd already say it makes them win the league, but it makes them better. No question. Listen, Griezmann's a proven goal scorer. And if I'm signing anybody, I want somebody that's going to put the ball in the back of the net. And this guy does it, so it makes them better. That's for sure.
But better enough to win the title.
It would depend where they finish. The end of this year. If they're finishing outside the top 4, you're not going to say, well, one player will make the difference. But if they finish maybe second or third or just behind, it might. I would say it's a very good piece of the jigsaw, but maybe still a couple of pieces short.
I didn't include Ralph Honigstein in our introductions, and didn't include him in our dental hygienist talk either, which I'm sure he's very sad about. But Ralph, I'll send the next question to you first.
Show your gnashers. Ralph, show your gnashers.
Your pearly whites. Actually, we're going to switch across
there you go. The
city of Manchester. The question is simply this: does Pep Guardiola last the season?
You lost me.
At Man City. Does Guardiola finish the season as Man City boss?
Of course he will finish the season. The problem is not so much the pressure from the club, because of all the big managers, he actually has the least pressure from the club inside. The pressure comes from the public, who enjoys the fact that he's underachieving. It comes from himself, because he's very, I'd say, almost on the edge of despondency because his team is playing so poorly at the moment. But there's absolutely no scenario, even if he finishes 5th or 6th, that would entail City getting rid of him. So it's not going to happen.
And City have stuck with managers, Roberto Mancini and Pellegrini. They all had 2-3 seasons.
They did, but let's be honest, he was the guy that they wanted for quite a while. And so they're going to back him to the hill. So Ralph's right, the pressure is coming from probably within himself, obviously, but from the UK media, which is their job, and from supporters of probably other clubs, because I think the Man City supporters, probably most of them, understand that he will be given time to bring in better players.
Should be noted this question comes from someone with the Twitter handle Arsenal's view, so maybe that explains the question. No chance?
There's more chance of Wenger not being there than Guardiola not being at Man City.
Well, we'll stay with Man City, because the third and final question comes from Zach. Gabriel Jesus, can he save Manchester City's season?
I thought it was Messi.
Well, apparently Jesus is going to get first chance to save it.
No.
He's going to be available this weekend.
He's going to be available this weekend. I'll be shocked if he's even in the 18.
Really?
I mean, this is a kid who's going to take some adjusting to the Premier League. He's probably behind. Well, he's behind Aguero, probably behind Iheanacho, and maybe he's behind Sane as well. So, I mean, no.
The way Guardiola was looking the other day, though, he may be reaching for some solutions.
Yeah, look, I think one of the problems here is that if he does finish outside the top 4, and that's a big if, is that the one thing we can throw at him, if it happens, to say, well, we understand it's not the ideal scenario at City at the moment, but it's up to you to manage and coach that scenario to get the job done. And I think that would be the criticism at the moment, that there aren't any real great teams in the Premier League, yet he's still struggling. We'll learn more after the weekend, of course, to play top.
Gab,
Raf.
That's a Gab, Raf indeed. How can I make that mistake? Gabriel Jesus, how's Pep Guardiola going to finesse, shall we say, that situation in his introduction?
Well, I don't think it's a factor at the moment, because up front, I mean, City have their big players. They just have other issues. They have no balance in midfield. Yaya Toure and Zabaleta as holding midfielders is a nightmare. There's no Gundogan, which is the real big problem. And at the back, John Stones is a bundle of nerves. So one extra good player up front is not going to make a big difference. I just don't think it's an issue at all for Guardiola at the moment.
And they've got a goalkeeper that can't save a shot.
Doesn't help, does it?
No, and there's talk already about I'm changing that scenario. So anyway,
well, thanks Gab, thanks Shaka, thanks Ali. That was terrific.
Thanks, Dan.
They'll all be on the next edition. Well, someone will be on the next edition of our show. I can promise you that. ESPN FC Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPN News.
Ryan Leclerc picking the ball out of it.
then running back.